Okay, let's get straight to the point. Remote ID is around the corner, and for model aviation and RC enthusiasts, it's going to be a really big problem. When this goes into effect, it's going to be a bad problem for both us and even people not involved with the model aviation community. So for me, I've started out in FPV not too long ago, around mid 2018 to 2019, and I've picked up a bunch of skills such as soldering, which I was terrible at beforehand, but I'm really good at it right now. And I've acquired other skills such as problem solving with electronics and learning how electronics work and how to problem solve them when and if they do fail. And with that said, with this proposed rule, you're not only taking away the freedom of flight for future generations to enjoy, but you are also going to cripple the entire industry. So one of the big things that they consider is just a digital license plate is basically just an excuse for someone to look at an app on their phone and see where you're located and potentially steal all of your gear. So you are literally giving away your exact coordinates to anyone that has the app capable of searching for remote ID modules and giving them the free pass to steal your hundreds to thousands of dollars worth of gear. So if you're going to enforce a rule like this, at the least increase the SUAS all up weight to 1 kilogram, which would be more than enough than all of us need to fly things like these, which are just regular freestyle quads that we use. And since at that point, at that maximum weight, all you're really going to be doing is professional cinema work with bigger rigs and stuff that has actual cameras on it, since all we use for what we do is just pretty much GoPros and smaller lightweight action cameras. And speaking of weight, the fact that you need an ID module for something that even meets and goes below the arbitrary 250 gram rule makes absolutely zero sense when it barely will damage any property or any people that it comes in contact with. And especially with little quads like these, which we call tiny whoops or just whoops for short, they weigh even less than a 250 gram roll, which these are usually up to 50 grams at the absolute most. And so most of these weigh only the weight of like one AA battery. And so you're telling me for something that weighs 50 or less grams, if not 35 or less, like I said, about one AA battery, I'd need to put a remote ID module on this, and it would still barely be able to keep up with the weight. Like if I try to put a battery on this and try to fly it, it just won't do it, because it will be that much heavier, and it would make no sense whatsoever to put one on one of these. And so the people that you need to enforce this on is the bad actors that actually seek out to do harm and post illegal flights and whatnot, and people that give us all a bad name, just like any other type of hobby. And speaking of people that will do bad and illegal flights, which it will still happen, they simply won't comply since there is no active enforcement, and the people that are law abiding and will put it on, they are being punished by doing the right thing. And they are at extra risk for robbery since you have that module on. Anyone can track using the proper app, and they can find your location and just find where you're located and steal all your gear. And for the people that want to do bad and illegal flights, they simply won't comply since there's no active enforcement. And for people that are honest in their work and will doing, like me and a bunch of other people that I know that are local and throughout the entire community, there is no extra protection that it will grant you just because someone has that app that they can track that module and steal your gear. And I'm also going to link below some other videos that other people have made, because this is a really big issue right now. People that have explained it much better than I have, because I know I've missed out on a few points. I'll link them down below. Some are really good friends of mine and are close by as well. And so they can explain the situation much better than I can, but this is just my really simple take on this, and hopefully this doesn't get into effect, because it is a really big deal.